what makes these abusive people abusive? Like, is it because they're angry? What is it that makes them abusive? Is it the anger that makes them abusive, or are they angry because they're abusive? Like, which way round is it? And like, why can they stop being abusive? Like, where does the abuse come from? Did they just decide to wake up and be abusive one day? Unfortunately not. That is not the case. So let me give you some answers to this. There's three reasons why someone might be, male or female, might end up being abusive. And when they do have this need to be abusive, it doesn't go away very easily either, unfortunately. But let me give you the three reasons as to why they might be abusive. So the first is, it basically comes down to they've experienced abuse. So it's all through learned behavior. They've experienced abuse as a child, and that you statistically, if you have experienced abuse as a child, you are statistically more likely to either end up being abused or becoming an abuser. And if you look at those stats, actually, if you're male, you're statistically more likely to become the perpetrator. So these are actual statistics out there. This is not just me saying anything, okay? So if they've experienced abuse, that's one. The second, the second is that they've witnessed abuse. So they've witnessed abuse, and again, they're much more likely to be a perpetrator of abuse if they saw a parent abusing another parent. So again, just statistically, this is not me making up stuff, pulling stuff out of thin air. This is actual statistics that I have researched, that I put into my book, that I've networked across the world to get the answers, because I, like you, went through the same damn bullshit, and I wanted to know what made them angry, what made them abusive. Was there any way of changing them? Unfortunately, there isn't with that one. But I just want to share the wealth of knowledge that I've learned, and I've had the privilege of learning from others around the world. So they've experienced abuse as a child, they've either witnessed abuse as a child, or the third is basically the environment around them. So I'm talking family, I'm talking friends. So they don't necessarily need to have gone through abuse, because you might be thinking, well, he's not ever gone through abuse, so what's made him so abusive? It could be the entitlement that the family have put on them. Now, this happens a shit ton when it comes to Asian. I'm talking Indian Asian, right? Where the males in the family, when a male is born, oh my god, there's celebrations, there's parties. We put the boy on a pedestal, the baby boy, before he's even said a word, before he can even talk, walk, anything, he's put on a pedestal for just being a male, literally. Whereas females, nobody wants to tell the rest of the family that a female is born, because there's shame on the what kind of fucking bullshit is this, right? So basically, just in an Asian household, and I know this is the same in some African households, I know this is the same in some other households like Middle Eastern, like not just in the South Asian community, right? So the family, the society, the rules of, feeding the males first, feeding the men first in the family before the women can sit down and eat. All of this crap is basically feeding male entitlement and feeding the male ego to make them think that they are superior. And domestic violence comes from gender inequality. Makes sense? So the more we feed this gender gap of male entitlement, from, imagine this is being bred into you as your child from school. Like, I know some of my women that I've worked with and mentored from Caribbean backgrounds. She said she weren't allowed to go to school, but her brother could, from a young age, because she was female and he was male. So imagine that being bred into you from a young child. That's just some of the bullshit. That is just some of the bullshit which contributes to perpetrators becoming abusive, because of this male entitlement, being put on a pedestal, witnessing or experiencing abuse as a child, all contributes to them becoming abusive. I hope that helps. I hope you're not going through this, but if you are, drop me a message, connect with me, Connecting Women Together on Instagram, Facebook, subscribe, like, share. Mwah. Sending you lots of love, and keep smiling at her in the mirror.